Okay, a little windy. So today, I got the tractor up here to the garage. We are going to tear into it and see just how bad it is. Right there's the crack. So I've already got the tractor in here, blocked up, the whole 9 yards. So we'll take tire off and see just how bad it is in there. See what we get the cover off and see if there's anything internal messed up. So let's get to it. All right, got the tire off. This is a bearing cap here. I went ahead and pulled the bolts out of it. That's got to come off anyway, so the axle can slide out. Everything here, seat, fender, everything has to come off. So you can take this hydraulic unit out for the 3-point hitch. This big chunk has to come off, and then there should be a bolt or a nut on the back of the axle holding a gear on in there. Gotta take that off, and then that axle should slide out. Okay, I've got the tire off, the fender off, the seat off, the seat bracket off, the plastic cover, I've got it all piled over here, just off to the side of the tractor. So next, we've got some linkages to unhook and remove this big old bad boy right here. We'll get it pulled out and then get down, see the innards, and be able to pull the axle shaft out.
sorry ass DJ.
You can get some.
Well, I just pulled off the top cover. And, you know, when I was in school, took diesel mechanics, working in the ag shop and stuff, this is what you had to do to get to the axle, shafts. So I did look on YouTube for videos for this, how to take one of these apart. You know, I just wasn't sure as far as, you know, if the axle shaft was in there or not. You know, you know, it's a whole different design. This is a 2009 tractor, And the stuff we were working on was, you know, early 90s and older whenever I was in school. So, you know, it is what it is. I took this top cap off and didn't have to. So the way this is actually designed, this here's the PTO for the PTO shaft. That's what this here's for. This will run the gears for that. You have a gear like a ring and pinion down here. You can't hardly see it, it's underneath. You have that. And then if you look through the casing, see if I can turn my light on and maybe get it to brighten up in there. You can barely see it. If you look through the casing there, you can see the gear. That's actually the gear for the axle, which is actually on the outside. So I actually went a little further than needed to go as far as tear down. So the only thing that I have to take off from looking at that is get the roll bar off, the ROPS, and unbolt the busted casing, and everything should be right there. So, you know, I'm looking in there, and I do not see a gear or anything because it's tucked on in there a little bit further. But yeah, from the looks of it, just unbolt the casing, and I should be able to get to the gear and be able to pull the axle shaft out. So that's what we're going to do. I'll get that top covered back up. I am going to leave it off for right now. If there's any kind, you know, I'm going to go in, being that I have it off, I am going to check some things out in there just to make sure everything's still good. Make sure there's nothing worn. But I mean, so far, just by a quick glance, I mean, everything looks good. Yeah, if you want to see some gears, there's some more gears up in there. So, yeah. Cool. We finally got this off last night. After I ended the video yesterday, I started working on this casing right here. Trying to get this off. This is the piece that's broke that went here. Like I said, I found no video at all on YouTube on how to remove this case and what it entails. This is for the 3000 series John Deere's. All these rear ends were the same. This is an 09, so I don't know how long they ran them. They may still be running them. I have no idea. Very tough case, that's for damn going sure. But anyway, I am actually going to do a couple videos here. This video is going to be, basically this video is just tearing it apart, getting it apart, and going from there. The next video will be putting it together and getting it back in operation. The other video that I am going to do on here for YouTube is going to be how to remove this case and what it all entails and how it should come apart. That way there's some record of it. Everything, as soon as I shut the video, the axle fell out of it. I've got here in the garage, here's the axle, and then this is for this here's the back cover, PTO, and all that stuff. Went ahead and pulled it too. I wanted to see, like I said before, I'm gonna do some work on the inside of this, some maintenance, checking things out. So went ahead and pulled that anyway. So this is going to be the end of this video. The only recommendation that I have, if you guys are doing this, remove the roll bar. I've got 5. I hit my head 5 times on that sucker last night. Johnny hit it twice. I've got 4 knots, and I don't know how many knots Johnny has. We had 5 guys out here working on this last night. And when I say 5 guys, I'm not talking just a couple working on this and a couple standing around bullshitting. I'm talking about 5 guys was working on this thing, taking turns trying to get this sucker off. Now, this piece here, still have to get this off of this shaft. This has to come off. This is what was holding us up the whole time last night, was this piece. That's for your brakes. This is a wet brake here. And that's what was actually holding it, for this to slide off. So all this has to come off yet. But we have to get this off, and that's going to entail heating it up with a torch and getting it worked loose. Evidently there's some rust or whatever, but anyway, like I said, it's tore apart, nothing else internally. It's looking, I think it's going to cost me about $2,500. The case itself, being that I have to buy a new case because there's no used ones out there in a junkyard, that's $1,600 just for that casing. If I could find it in a junkyard, probably looking about $400 to $600 is what I was told, from a couple companies that I'd called. So I'm gonna wrap this up. Video's getting kind of long. So yeah, I'll do this as a part 1. So until next time, guys, like, subscribe, hit the bell. Follow me on the YouTube. Ask questions, leave comments, and thanks for watching.